1. This literally just happened, and I'm so bewildered that I feel like I have to share it. So I work as a hotel receptionist within the City of London. Due to our location and apart hotel style, we get both corporate and tourist guests. This particular story is about a corporate guest from a big company that regularly books with us as corporate clients. The guest, Luke, and his girlfriend get checked in yesterday by one of our oldest receptionists. All is well. Today, me and this receptionist are on shift and get sent an urgent message from our manager to check our email. We both check and are suddenly face to face with a very long email chain, with Luke, his company booker Sharon, and our client relations person Fiona. The email chain subject had a big fat urgent, so we of course begin reading the emails right away. From the very first line, "The receptionists tell me there's no bathroom in my room and tell me to use the communal bathroom of the hotel." We both immediately looked at each other as if to ask, did we read that right? So, as anyone would do in this situation, we read it again and still couldn't fathom how this guest would have missed an entire bathroom. By the way, all of our rooms have bathrooms and a kitchenette. So we read through the email chain, and everyone from Sharon to Fiona is confused, to the point they begin referring to the issue as the mystery bathroom. So our AGM sent Sharon our way, as she's the main point of contact for the guest and he wasn't answering his phone or replying to any messages. Sharon calls in an absolute frenzy, asking me who was at the desk, who gave this information to the guest, and why we'd direct him to the communal bathroom, etc. So in the least sarcastic voice I could muster, I explained to Sharon that our receptionist is definitely aware we have bathrooms in each room, and would not have said that in any way, shape, or form. Sharon explained she is on our side but is bewildered that the guest still, after 24 hours, claims there is no bathroom in his room. So I went up to his room, and for context, the bathroom door is literally to the right of you as you enter the room. So I took a video of me opening the door to the bathroom and videotaped the bathroom ready for when the guest comes back to reception. So he returns, and I call him over to the desk and ask him what the problem is with his room. He comes and tells me how there's no bathroom and the receptionist says he has to use the communal toilets, etc. His girlfriend chimes in too, validating her boyfriend's lies. So I said, yes, there is a bathroom in your room, as there is in every room because we are indeed a hotel. He said, well, your colleague... I cut him off there and said, you mean this colleague? And she turned around and asked him what he means, and he tried to gaslight her into thinking she indeed said that. But of course we weren't having it and said, you know what, we will both go up with you to the room and show you the bathroom. I literally couldn't make eye contact with her as we entered the lift because I know I'd laugh. The whole thing felt like a fever dream. Anyways, in the lift, she, being the blunt person she is, asked him, so, you've just been staying unwashed since yesterday? To which he then responded, actually, I went to an Airbnb to shower. The man booked a whole other place to shower instead of just coming down to reception. Yes. Anyways, the lift stops on his floor and we ask him to lead the way. He, and I kid you not, swaggers into the room and raises his arms out as if to gesture, see no bathroom. With no words said, she goes to the large door directly to the right of us and opens it. For an added effect, I even put the lights on, just in case he still can't see it. The way this man began tripping over his words, talking about how the door was locked and whatnot. I'm not going to lie, we both laughed in his face and told him to just come to reception next time. He walked back out with us, even down the lift, so we both kept a straight face until he walked away. We found a corner each by the desk and laughed like we'd never laughed before. Literal tears were in my eyes. It's definitely a tale that will be remembered and told for receptionists to come. Thank you for listening. 2. The hotel was in a not-so-good area, so the clientele isn't all that great, but we do get travelers, workers, and the usual people. This particular weekend there was a big event going on, and I think a fight, or was it a Super Bowl night? Something big for sure. Mornings weren't so busy until close to checkout, and are dead until check-ins, which is of course 3 p.m. and stays busy for the most part. I was also training another front desk agent, so that was going on while we check in this family. We put them above us on the second floor. All is well, all is good. I'm not sure if this rule applies to other hotels or motels, but once payment and keys have been issued and the guest leaves the lobby, 30 minutes or over an hour since check-in, we cannot issue a refund. However, if the room has been tampered, we do a compromise and provide a refund, but our policy doesn't like that. Now, this lady, a Karen, and her husband had kids with them. We get them checked in and gave them additional items, blankets, sheets, pillows, etc. About half the limited time went by, 15 minutes or so, which wasn't long at all. Karen is upset, claiming that the bathroom door creaks the hinges, has red splotches, and claimed that it's blood. I offered that we could clean it for her, or I could provide products, and she accepts the second offer. I let her know that I'll get the items for her in a bit, and then she leaves. By this time it's been a while since it was busy. Oh, and I forgot to add that she had also requested more towels. I grabbed the towels and cleaning cloths and her strongest cleaning spray. I go up the stairs to the second floor into her room and knocked on the door. I don't see Karen, but I see the father and the kids, and the room is very used. The floor is wet from them probably each taking a shower, or had come from the pool. However, it's clear that the room has, in other words, been tainted, used, settled. I give them the items and I go back to the office. I check in more guests and make conversation with my new coworker. It was chill, somewhat, until Karen comes back in and demands a housekeeper. I told her that no housekeeper was available at that time, as the two have finished their rooms for the day and prepping for the next day. Karen proceeds to yell at me for a refund, and I told her that I can't do that because the room has been used, and it's been well over 30 minutes, and no other needs were addressed for us to fix. She wasn't having it, and became extremely angry, banging on the side counter next to my check-in computer tablet. I ended up having to contact my manager because by that point I had exhausted all my options to appropriately resolve the issue. My manager literally said on speaker that she's off the clock and we don't offer refunds. It was very funny, and she just stood there staring at me while I took care of the other guests. Eventually she does leave, but not without making it clear she'll report to corporate and leave a bad review. 3. So I work at a very small inn, 15 rooms, in a small but touristy town. This story happened about 9 months ago, when I had only been working at the hotel for 3 months. I was still adjusting to the new job, first-time hotel worker, and even though I had already dealt with a good amount of troubled guests, this was my first time needing to involve police. Our checkout time is 11 a.m., and we're usually pretty lenient for the first 15 minutes after checkout passes. The clock hits 11:30, and our housekeeper comes to inform me that the guests in one of the rooms haven't checked out yet, and aren't answering the door when she knocks. She told me that the window to the room was open, and she saw a quick glimpse of someone lying on the bed, so she was worried that they had either overslept or potentially passed away. A very real concern, considering no one was answering the door. I proceeded to call the phone number we had on file for the reservation, and our housekeeper said she could hear it ringing inside the room, but I got no answer. I left 2 voicemails and sent a text through our reservation system, letting her know checkout has long since passed, and she needs to vacate the room and let us know what's happening. At this point, I start getting worried that we did have a potential death in our hands, and I'm trying to mentally prepare myself to find a body. Quick note, I'm a very timid young woman. At this point, my heart rate is increasing, and my knees are getting a bit shaky at such a prospect. I build up my courage and walk over to the room to check for myself. I knock on the door a few times, announcing myself as front desk, and got no answer. Since I have at this point not gotten an answer over the phone or from inside the room, I decided to unlock the room. I enter the key code and try to open the door, but someone pushes back against it and a woman's voice screams unintelligibly through the door at me. I couldn't hear what she said exactly, and I shakily call out again, announcing that I'm from the front desk, and I hear more yelling that I can't understand. My anxiety is going crazy and my mind is racing. I rush back to the front desk to call our GM to ask what I'm supposed to do, because, to be quite frank, I'm terrified at the thought that something awful is going down inside that room. My GM tells me that I should just call the non-emergency line and ask them to come to the room and try to figure out what's going on. She instructs me and our housekeeper to not go near the room and to just wait for the police to arrive. I phone the non-emergency line and let them know what's happening, and the lady over the phone tells me that someone will come by shortly, as the police station is just down the road from us. I wait at the front desk, and I see the police pull up at 12:15. They stop by the front desk to ask for the room number and what has transpired so far, and they leave to go knock on the door. I'm waiting at the front desk, because I want no part in what's about to go down, and the police come back to the front desk about 10 to 15 minutes later and tell me the guests have packed up and left. It felt like a weight was taken off my shoulders, and I was relieved that nothing serious or dangerous had happened in the room. I get a phone call to the front desk a minute or two later, and here's how it roughly transpired. "Thank you for calling the hotel."
"You called the fucking cops on me!"
"Is this the lady from room 5? "Yes, ma'am. Checkout was well over an hour ago. I got no response from you other than yelling through the door. Since we don't have security on site, I was advised to do so."
"This is how you treat your paying guests? We overslept and checked out late. No one even told me checkout was at 11.
"Yes, we did at the time of check-in, and it's not only listed on the website where she made her reservation, but it's written in the room."
"I can't fucking believe this. I've never been treated so badly, and you will not be getting away with this. I would never do something to warrant having cops to be called."
"Ma'am, I honestly don't know what to tell you. When you don't inform the front desk of what's going on, and all I know is someone screamed at me through the door, of course I'm going to be worried. I don't know you, and for safety of our staff, we do what we have to do. I called and texted and knocked on the door, and you did nothing to let us know what was happening." She proceeded to curse me out and call me every name under the sun, threatened to sue our hotel. All the fun stuff. I finally hung up on her and blacklisted her from our hotel and informed other hotels in the area to watch out for her. To be honest, I was pretty shaky and freaked out for the rest of the day, super worried she would call back again, or worse, show up and scream at me in person. Luckily, we haven't heard from her since. I still don't know if they actually overslept or were hoping to squat for a while. The cops didn't tell me any additional information of what she said. What I do know is that our housekeeper was watching from a distance, and apparently she was bitching like crazy at the cops, and her husband was awkwardly pacing around behind her. They left the room in shambles, and I ended up closing the office to help our housekeeper with the immense amounts of garbage left behind. The room also reeked of smoke, even though we have a strict no-smoking policy. I tried charging the card on file for our smoking fee, since the room wasn't able to be sold for the next 2 days due to the stench. However, the card declined. I have since metaphorically grown a pair, and know that I was far too polite to her over the phone. I just don't understand why people act the way they do. 4. This will be a tale from the front desk, from the other side of the front desk, from someone who's usually on the other side of the front desk. Reverse tale from the front desk. Well, guys, I admit, from time to time I take advantage of my employee discount. Decided to take a weekend in the big ham city of Alabama. Nice resort there, decent rate, so why not? I'm from Alabama and figured I'd visit my home state for a minute. I'll tell you guys, I haven't stayed at such a nice resort since I worked for the old mouse in Florida. It was dubbed the Castle, and it gave me grand vibes of Florida. No names, but hope you caught it. I walk into a grand lobby, nice dark wood, big fireplace, just a cozy, nice large resort. I was greeted by a young man in a blazer. "Checking in?" he asks. "Why, yes, I am," and I gave him my name. Mr. Hank. We have your reservation. May I see ID?" I give him my ID and employee paper. "Very good, sir. Thank you. Will you be using the card on file?" "Yes, I will." I take out my card, expecting him to swipe it, but that never happened. "Mr. Hank, we appreciate you being an elite semi-precious metal member. I see you have requested extra towels and pillows and a high room floor. Is this correct?" "Yes, that is correct." "Very good, sir. I have your room ready. Here are your keys. Will you be visiting the pool, sir?" "Yes, I believe I will." "Here are your wristbands for visiting the pool, then. Would you like any bottled water, sir?" Y'all, I get I'm in a high-end resort, but I'm getting why shinies expect that bottled water now. Naturally, I'm getting my bottled water. Jeez, I get asked that all the damn time. I'm living like the other half now. "Mr. Hank, we just put these in the fridge, so they might not be as cold, but there should be some bottled water in the fridge in your room, though. Was there anything else I could do for you?" "Yes, I'd like to request a later checkout if I could. And can you add my mobile key?" "I can add the mobile key for you, of course, sir. As for the late checkout, you'll have to contact the front desk tomorrow. Was there anything else?" "No, thank you very much." "Thank you, Mr. Hank. Elevators are right behind you. Enjoy your stay." Not gonna lie, the young man did a very good job. I actually felt like a super shiny member, especially with that water. I was kinda upset about the late checkout since I can do that even before people check in at my property, but they said they had to check availability. I was also really glad his mood didn't change when he saw the employee rate. Usually it's, "Here's your room keys," and I'm the one initiating conversation. Well, we got to the 5th floor out of 6 floors, so I got my high floor room. The resort was quite large, so I was far away from the elevator. Room was beautiful as expected. Then here's where employee luck comes in. My balcony view was of the porte-cochere. I sat there and watched all the BMWs, Mercedes, and Lexus get whisked away by valets. I guess it was something to look at. I also don't know why I have extra pillows and towels on my profile, but I'm glad he verified that. There weren't any extra in my room, but I'm just there a night. At a property like this, I can imagine the super shinies going crazy over not having enough towels or pillows to make their towel pillow forts. Anyways, there actually were 2 bottles of water in the room. Unfortunately, they were not in the fridge. Since I'm living the life of a super shiny member, I must now get as many bottles of magic water as I can. Walked the grounds, which were lovely, then went out. Came back a little before audit. No night auditor, but there was a bell. Being a night auditor myself, I did not want to ring the bell. However, this night, being high on my 4 bottles of magic water, I knew since I was a super shiny member I could. Rang the bell, and the night auditor appears from around the corner. I requested late checkout again, which was denied. "Maybe after audit I could, but your best shot is 6 a.m. in the morning. Availability looks good, so you'll definitely get it." I wish the night auditor a good night and go back to my room to crash. Since I had too much magic water to drink the night before, I was feeling the withdrawals. Guys, I couldn't even figure out how to dial 0 on my cordless, yes, cordless phone. The properties I stay at still have corded phones. Anyways, get front desk. I'd like to request a late checkout. Mr. Hank, you're in room 569. Yes, we can gladly give you one. We've been giving guests 12:30 p.m. late checkouts. Is this acceptable?" Yes, that's fine, which it was. I wanted 1 p.m. because, shiny status, but this was good. "Very good, Mr. Hank. We have you down for a late checkout." So I go back to sleep and probably don't wake up until 12 p.m. Should time to motor and get ready to check out. Go down to the lobby and hand front desk my keys. The gentleman there was just as nice, and I was offered more magic shiny bottled water as I left. For the record, guys, I got a 6-pack of magic shiny water during my one-night stay. I still have 3 in the fridge at home. It was a good night, and I'll never forget that for one night, I too was mega shiny, high off free magic bottled water. I never did get my mobile key, though. Oh well. 5. I think that all of us who work front desk and have different type of room views know how much of a pain it can be when guests come in demanding this type of view, claiming that they paid for it, and yada yada. But I had never seen something as what I saw yesterday. I work front desk in quite a big hotel in Spain, which means that aside Spanish people and some other European countries, we are mostly getting French guests through the whole summer. Some of them can be a little bit complicated, as they are, at least in the tourism sector here, famous for, while some others are very nice. They usually make trouble when they're not given rooms with swimming pool view, as they come with their children and want to take a look at them playing there directly from their balcony. Our hotel has 3 types of views: the street in front, which can be very noisy, the street to the right, which is calmer, and the much in high demand swimming pool view. Now, when a guest comes barging in claiming they paid for a room with a swimming pool view, we explain to them how in our hotel it is not possible to pay for the room type, and that they are assigned always under what we have available or not, which is something that gets trickier now that we have the hotel fully booked. They usually brush it off with a bit of mumbling and do not bother us again. Now, here we have our nightmarish guest from yesterday. I was working the afternoon shift and made this guest check in at around 3:45 p.m. He is staying 1 week. Okay. He paid, got his keys. He was already a bit mad because the parking was complete, but nothing I could not handle. He comes back around 15 minutes later, while I was taking a small break in my boss's office to drink water.
Huh? I'm sorry, but I paid for a swimming pool view?
No, sir, that is not possible. Perhaps the website showed you different room views, but they cannot be reserved in advance.
But I paid more.
No, sir. I am afraid that is not what actually happened. He stormed off, so I thought I was done with him, and that he understood at last. Oh, I was naive. Flash forward to half an hour later. The lobby is calm besides a big family who have come in for check-in, and that since they have 3 rooms booked, both me and my coworker are taking care of them. When I suddenly hear his voice screaming his lungs out, both me and my coworker get started. The guests start whispering amongst themselves, and when I turn around from the printer I was taking copies of their IDs in, there he is, my nightmare guest from before, still screaming about his room with a pool view type. Surprisingly enough, he pulls out his reservation, which, to be honest, seemed to be made on one of those sketchy websites that then buy off the rooms from dooting.com, and I got surprised as it said pool view. Sir, I'm so sorry, but I think this website scammed you. There is no such thing here as paying more for a certain room type.
Well, then I demand you change me.
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid we're fully booked, so...
Then I want to speak with the manager.
She is not here, and will not be here until 8 p.m. if you want to wait.
No, I do not want to wait. She either gets here, or I call the police.
This is when my coworker gets up from her seat and tells him that if he wants to call the police, then so be it, and murmurs to me that we would not be taking this kind of shit from anyone. He kept on screaming about how he was going to cause a fuss and even threatening us, while our security guard tried to calm him down. In the end, we ended up changing him to a room with a swimming pool view that was pending check-in, just to not hear from him anymore. But when I tell you in my 2 years here, I have never heard someone scream as hard as him, and we have had loads of people doing fusses, I completely mean it. He later on at night came downstairs to ask for the Wi-Fi code, and was smiling as if nothing had happened. I hope he enjoyed my death stare face then. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Coahw, episode 122. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, please give the like button a poke. And if you'd like to get the videos a little bit earlier, then you can support me through Patreon for as little or as much as you like a month. And you can also buy Hellfreezer merchandise, both of which are linked in the description. Please go take a look, see if that's something that interests you. If you'd like to support on a more one-off basis, then you can make donations during streams or videos just like this one. While this is not required to keep enjoying the videos, I do appreciate it and it helps me out. Okay, let's see. I don't think there's any other business today. I have to remember one of those stories is anonymous. But yeah, okay, so let's move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is, what are some of your favorite vegetable-based dishes, i.e. no meat, at least no red meat, that sort of thing. You try to keep it as healthy as you can. Looking for suggestions, so I'd love to hear some of your ideas. Okay, and with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourself.